All right, so welcome to Two Dads and Six Daughters. This is Mark Clark and myself, Tony Scott. We're two dads, and we each have three daughters. And what's going on, man?
Man, let's see, what is going on? Well, the summer's in full effect.
Yeah.
We, the girls had an interesting experience. We did this thing with this talent agency.
Mm-hmm.
Not a talent agency. It's actually a management talent. They manage talent, and then they bring in agents.
Okay.
And so they select you. Then, of course, they have this big agent thing they do in October.
Mm-hmm.
And then if the agents like you, then, the kid can get signed and the whole thing. So it's the first time we ever did anything like that. And so to see your kids like audition, it was a cool experience.
Okay. So what kind of what did they have to sing or dance or something or what?
Yeah, they just did whatever they just did a snippet of what they do, so
All three of
all the
them?
girls, yeah, all three of them sang a little bit.
Well,
And then,
you can't call them the Clark sisters because that's already taken.
yeah,
So you know what I'm saying?
yeah, you can't call them Clark sisters.
Yeah.
No.
So they got signed?
No. Well, the agency definitely wants to, excuse me, my dogs. Brownie!
You little bitch, be quiet.
know,
wait a minute. What?
Wait till I start a show and you're going to start barking. Just sleep all day. Now you're going to start barking. Everybody wants to be a star. What was that? What just happened?
Oh, that just helps me see you better, man. So,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So, no, yeah. So they want to work with them, and then in October they're going to get the chance. So they prep them. They prepare scenes for them. They do how to do a cold read, how to interview.
Oh, that's cool, man.
I thought it would just be a good life experience.
So what made you do? I mean, it's a good life experience, but what made you decide to go that route instead of like I don't know, like summer camp or something? I mean, that's
No,
kind
they
of
do summer camps too.
yeah, but I mean, this is not something that the normal parent thinks of. I mean, not that
Well,
it's good or bad. I'm just saying
yeah.
it's not every day that somebody takes their kid to some three kids to a talent agent.
Right. Yeah, the impetus, Tony, was
Not the impetus.
these kids watch all these Disney shows,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I had promised them that they wanted to, have that experience, like go to an audition and stuff, and I kept kind of dragging my feet. I was looking up, I'm like, these kids they're growing up quick, and so the baby's 8, so I was like, let me go ahead and just let them have the experience. So. It was just, I think it was probably just meant to be because Allison actually interviewed this company on television. But
Okay.
she uh, what's her name? The actress Biel, married to Justin Timberlake.
Oh, Jessica
That-
Biel.
Jessica Biel's mother, Allison interviewed her mother, and her mother was talking about this company and talking about how it's a holistic kind of thing. And so Allison had, made a mental note that if the kids were going to do something, it would be that company or that type of company. And so I got I heard about this open casting call, and it come to find out it was actually that company.
Oh.
So it was like maybe it was meant to be. And then the guy who owns the company actually watches Allison every day on television. So that was exciting. I mean, that was kind of exciting. That's our most excitement of the summer. They're also getting ready to go to Atlanta with their play Ant, and that's going to be pretty exciting.
All three of them?
Yep, all three of them.
So you and Allison get to be a couple with no kids for how long?
A week.
Wow.
I've been training out of oysters and push-ups, a lot of squats.
Gotta do a lot of squats, man.
Got to get my wind up. If only, one more thing cooperates.
It'll be all good, huh?
If not, it'll be a typical week in the household.
What's on TV?
How the TV watching? Yeah, man. So I've been eating a lot of oysters,
Yeah.
a lot of raw eggs.
Raw eggs, man. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've
Yeah.
been taking your himby by the bowl. You ever had your himby cereal?
No, I've heard of it though.
It's delicious. And, I got
So when are they leaving?
I think we're gonna take them next weekend.
Oh, okay. I got you. So you're gonna drive them to Atlanta?
We're gonna meet halfway.
Oh, okay.
Meet Aunt Tracy halfway, and and hand them off. And then when we pick them up, I think we'll go to Atlanta
Oh, that's cool.
and,
Yeah.
go to the underground and have lunch. No,
Right.
the underground. You remember when the underground was
It
the
was
place?
popping, man.
I don't know. That, that was when dudes were still wearing makeup in Atlanta
Yeah,
the
well.
first time. Remember that? It was like, is that a compact you got? What is going on? Is that a man? Oh my God.
Eyeliner, what the hell?
Yeah. What?
I don't know, man.
What
I
about
don't
you,
know.
man? I know, Olivia's getting ready, man. Man, you sent me that TV shot. Olivia is getting it in, and I had to laugh because, in addition to being a great dancer, and this thing you showed us on television, you sent me, she kind of introduced what she was going to do.
Yeah.
I said, she's a little
She
broadcaster.
is a little
Well,
broadcaster, isn't she?
got
Yeah.
pipes and
Yeah,
everything,
Daddy
man.
was proud, man. She's we made our first payment last week for tuition,
Wow.
you know.
Welcome.
Oh
Wow.
man. $1,000.
My thing is, Tony, she got mad flavor, and I've seen you dance. She did not get it
You
from
ain't
you.
never seen me dance.
Deshaunna's jeans kicked in hard.
Very hard,
Because
yeah.
I've never seen you bailar, senor.
Yeah,
Or
she's
tomar cerveza.
yeah. Yeah, she I mean she loves to dance, dude. She's and then of course I think the only thing we is left to buy her is a refrigerator for her dorm. And
Okay.
once that's in, that'll be because I mean she's got everything else that she needs, and you
Hey
were
man,
generous with your graduation gift and
hey
everything.
man, hold off on that, man. If I get a thumbs up this next week, old Uncle Mark will come through.
Uncle Marker kick in, man.
If not, go on get that. Um, go ahead.
They start school here on the 12th of next month.
That's what the school starting like earlier.
Yeah, yeah.
Speaking of the childhood, I forgot this is the big story of the week. So I'm doing something in Baltimore, and I was, the kids are, 8, 11, and 12, soon to be 13. So, the old shit, are they old enough to be left alone?
Right.
So my 12-year-old had camp, and so she was now back from camp. So she was now home. So we felt like we could leave them at home. So we normally take them over to grandma's house. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm in Baltimore, and I called to check in. Um, I called to check in. My youngest got a little funky attitude, which you know how it is. They always got somebody got a funky attitude. And so it was very, what's wrong? It wasn't like all the way funky, but funky enough where,
Right.
what's wrong? Okay, okay, well, la, 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 la. Okay, well, get your attitude together because I told him, tell the girls get ready. I'm heading home. Mom's gonna be home. Make sure you clean up. Well, the basics.
Yeah.
Okay, well, okay, well, you need to get your attitude together because, whatever. So
Yeah.
hang up. So I get about 5 minutes later, incoming call. So I'm thinking she's calling back to say, I'm sorry, Daddy, I had a funky attitude. No. All I heard was, ah! Dogs barking, kids screaming, can't understand what the hell's going on.
Right.
I'm like, what is it? And I heard something like, she went crazy. There's blood everywhere. It's the worst call. It's the call that
The
every parent dreads.
the call from
You're just
hell.
like, what? And so Skylar, my middle child, cut her thumb open
Uh-huh.
and they couldn't stop the bleeding. I finally got that out of, after all the screaming. And so I was just like, I started to give play by play on how to stop, put a tourniquet on a thumb, but then I was like, no, let me just send him to the neighbor's house.
Yeah.
So sent him to the neighbor's house. Thank God for great neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
And they took her to emergency. She said, I called her. She said she couldn't stop the bleeding. So she had to get 4 stitches. So
Oh man, that was
it
pretty.
was,
What was she doing?
she had never used a can opener before. And so, again, as a parent, these are the leaps that happen and to make you go crazy.
Yeah.
Okay. It's 10 o'clock and you want to make tuna. Why? Why? So her oldest sister she did it, but then Skylar wanted to do it. So it was like, I know I got it. Man, when I got, after all the drama, that can of tuna, you know, it has a lid on it where
Yeah.
you're supposed to, dude. It went all up in the can. It was like halfway in the can. I was like, what?
How do you do that?
How do you do that? I mean, all the years we grew up using can openers, right?
Right.
In your whole life, Tony, has it ever gone off the can? You know, no,
Off the track?
off the track, man. And it was a rusty can opener,
Oh no.
so she had to get the shot, man.
Oh man.
But so that was yeah, that was but you know, it was a great teaching lesson for my youngest because my youngest, I get it. You know, like Sydney and Skylar are 14 months apart,
Hmm.
so they do have a natural kind of
Yeah.
thing. And then Spencer's the baby. So really, what's happening is she's always fighting for her spot
Yeah.
unnecessarily, and
Right.
she does she'll play dirty too. Those two don't play dirty. She'll play dirty, and so but what happened? I used it as a teaching lesson because you know she's always mad at one of them for whatever reason. It's always something. It's always the same story. And I just told her, I said, this is how life works. You had a funky attitude. Oh, because the screaming wasn't Skylar, it was Spencer. Spencer, she saw the blood,
Yeah.
and then she lost it.
She's
And so
squeamish.
she was screaming for her sister.
Oh. Pinch hitting
So,
for.
right, you know, and so it's like, and she's that way. She's very emotional,
Right.
very,
Yeah.
very protective of them, but she's always mad at them.
Uh,
And I just told her, you know, I said, that's how life works. That time you spent being angry at Skylar, you
yeah.
could have lost her. You know, and how would you feel your last memory of your sister was you were mad at her, you know?
Right.
And
Right.
so she was like, I know, you know. So, yeah. So it was. In fact, if you go to my Facebook page, there's a picture of me and Skylar at the hospital.
Oh.
And it's one of those. It's a great picture because I got there and she was upset because she just got her stitches. Let me tell you something. No disrespect to people from other countries. Okay,
Okay.
I would just say people from other countries kind of light on the painkiller. My man said,
What? What?
you know, they're kind of light on the painkiller. They're not necessarily. Here's my case, Tony. She had to get her thumb stitched, so you know that I was thinking about that. You know, the dead in the head. It's pretty. It's
Mm-hmm.
those real long needles. I know
Mm-hmm.
that's very traumatic. So halfway through stitching up the thumb, it ran out. The pain.
Oh.
So he just plowed on through, and then at the end was like, yeah, you know, at the end, dude, we ran out of pain, man. Sorry. It was like, okay. In the middle, it ran out of it. It wasn't, you know, like a check, like, are you okay? Hey, let me get another hit here.
Yeah.
No. He knew it ran out and was like, yeah, I guess he figured he didn't want to stop. And then he was like, oh, it's doing well because I really thought after I took the tourniquet out, it would be spurting. And I'm sorry, it ran out through halfway through. My daughter's like, great, I'm 11, thanks. You know, he might as well just handed her a piece of wood. Here you go.
Yeah. Bite on this,
Right on it.
man.
So she proves she's got big cojones, just like her Uncle Tony.
I remember when Olivia was in elementary school, and one morning, on a school morning, she came down the stairs and she fell down the stairs,
Mm.
and it hurt, right? So she's laying there screaming in agony, I'm dying, I'm dying. And Maria, the younger one, she's like, don't die, oh, don't die. It's like just a big thing, right? I'm on, at work and stuff, and my wife's telling me about this, and we're cracking up because it was like, it's one saying, I'm dying, and it was, don't die. And it's like,
No,
oh, God, man, please. But, it's a great teaching lesson, though. That was good.
the girls, man.
Yeah.
I love, Allison and I just did an interview about, for the website, blackandmarriedwithkids.com about, parenting or about marriage. And that's it, man. I mean, I think you're kind of the same way. We really don't have boys we run with. We just come
Yeah.
home and do the family thing.
Yeah.
And everyone's different, but I just think it's a blessing when that's your thing.
Yeah.
Because the moments are precious and you're there. And, I mean, it's just, I think you just have a certain connection when you're just there all the time.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. I
And
mean,
a lot of,
when you and I worked together and we did a morning show, I cherished being home in the afternoon. I love being home in the afternoon, because I mean, I was able to watch them play outside, and I'd be out detailing my truck and stuff, and I was able to watch them. I watched the other kids too, right? So, it's one of those things that I really enjoy doing that. And and to me, it's important now because Olivia's 18 and she's going away to college, and it's like important because I always have those memories, the whole
Yeah.
thing. So it's kind of like one of those things. I was thinking about you earlier this week when that family in that SUV, that family of four, rolled over in Sanford, Florida, and George Zimmerman came and was one of the people who helped pull them out, right?
Mm.
And Tammy, and for those who are not in the St. Louis area, Tammy, I do a radio show. Tammy's my co-host. Tammy says it was a setup.
Mm.
So I thought about you because you're a conspiracy theorist,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So I
yes.
got to ask you, was that a setup?
Yes.
Come on, really? Really?
Oh yeah, come on, man.
Man,
Are you kidding me,
well,
Tony?
but okay, we just talked about how great it is to be with our kids. You mean to tell me that these two people jeopardize the safety of their children and roll their SUV just so George Zimmerman could get some positive press? Is that what you're saying? Really?
No, I'm not saying that. No, that doesn't make. I mean, that doesn't make no damn sense. So I'll take that back. No, the seeing, I didn't even investigate the story, to be honest. Seeing the story made me. Yeah, the first thing I thought was, right, conspiracy. I did.
Okay.
Now, like you said, how you make that conspiracy happen? Right. I mean, that's a stretch.
Yeah.
But I have to, if I'm honest, my original thought, so much so that I didn't even look at the story because I thought it was like
you just wrote it off as a setup.
Yeah, and then I saw, I guess another headline was that the family didn't want to take a picture with him because they didn't want to be associated with him.
Right. Right.
And so I was like, I definitely thought conspiracy based on the headline.
So then I asked somebody, I said, so let me ask you this, because they thought it was a setup too. Somebody, not Tammy, but somebody else. And I said, so if you're in an accident, your babies are in an accident and they need rescuing, and the only person who can help is George Zimmerman, would you want him to help?
Of course.
They took a minute to think about it. And I was like, I cannot believe you're even thinking about this.
Well, first of all, come on now. Like we talked about last time. All right. George Zimmerman is a man. Okay. One person. Now, if that's the case, a black person, you wouldn't want a black person to help you because black people are killing each other. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't really go that route with all the killings in East St. Louis, Baltimore, DC, every major city where black on black crime's going down. You can't say that. You know what I mean? I think even George Zimmerman, yeah, I mean, he's a human being so that's just ridiculous. And I think again, black people, come on now. Can you really go there when, again, in every major city, yearly, black males are killing black males at an alarming rate?
Mm-hmm.
There's no reason to be afraid of any NRA person based on how many people being killed. I hate to say that, but and we have to really deal with that. I think that, we lose our damn mind, like all the outrage. Like, these babies, every city there's a baby that gets killed. And where's the outrage on that? I mean,
we had a 9-year-old who was, with his dad in the car. Somebody shot him in the head, killed him, right? And so a couple of days ago, apparently the house where they live, somebody shot at the house. I just don't get that at all. Now, I did hear today that one of the jurors from the Zimmerman case says that George Zimmerman got away with murder. So, now you say that now?
I know. And again,
shut up.
Yeah, what happened? I mean, if you said that when you're supposed to, then it wouldn't have ended how it ended.
And she says, well, based on the instructions that we got, we had no choice but to find him not guilty. So that tells me, okay, if she's correct about that, and I don't know if she is or not, right? Then that tells me that the law, even though it seems an open and shut case, when it's time to go to court, it ain't open and shut. And it goes back to the OJ defense. If you have, Mark O'Meara is a world-class lawyer.
Yeah.
Right. So if you have a world-class lawyer, you can beat a murder charge.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, and I think, the system, that's the other part that I think lawyers know. You've heard some communicate it, like, how some would say it's a tough case to prove. You heard that a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And then you hear others say, oh, it wasn't. But it's kind of like, well, there's a reason why they're saying that. And I know with myself, I always say that for me, if I'm on a, and you know me, Tony,
Mm-hmm.
on a jury, right? And if I'm, if I'm, like you said, you get certain, um, directives, and it would be hard. I was thinking, it would be hard for me to find somebody guilty in a lot of cases. You say beyond a reasonable doubt.
Right.
You think about that. Beyond a reasonable doubt. Now, in this case, based on what we saw on the outside, it seemed like it wouldn't be because, was someone, I think, I guess me and we talked about, you and I didn't talk about it, but Troy and I talked about it on the air. So like, there were like three things they had to look for. Like, was Trayvon Martin killed? Did, Zimmerman, was he the person who murdered him? And then the third one was, I mean, it was like three things.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, yeah, I mean, I could answer yes to all those. Now but like this juror is saying, I know someone had mentioned that when they asked the judge about manslaughter and the judge gave them a very little,
Mm-hmm.
some say that they just were like, all right, almost like,
Well, we don't have the
well,
information that we can't convict him.
exactly. And so, but then I guess the logical part for us would be if you're a juror and that is brought up, but you're not clear on it, it seems like you would seek clarity.
Which they did.
That they did from the judge,
Yeah,
but
from the
didn't get it,
judge. But she
but
wouldn't
didn't
answer the
get it.
question.
And so then I guess then the question becomes, well, I know for me, I would then try to seek clarity ever how you do it. I wouldn't just be like, oh well, I didn't get enough information. So again, and maybe that's what they did. Maybe they were like, hey, we asked the judge,
Mm-hmm.
she didn't give us anything. So based on what we got,
Right.
that just seems, I couldn't live with myself
Mm-hmm.
with that conclusion. But I guess
Well,
this
maybe
jury
that
now,
was her way of speaking out, saying that he got away with murder. That maybe that's her way of cleansing her conscience.
right, right.
You know,
Because it's like, well, if you felt that passionate about it, why did you just hold up everything?
what do you think about the president's speech about race last week?
Um, you know, I, I mean, president gives a good speech, man. The president gives a good speech, and I have to admit that you know, I was Mr. Super Defender of the president. I think, you know, these speeches are historic because obviously having an African American president who happens to be biracial talking about race, this never has happened.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who disregard it, like, oh, I heard that before, dude, you got to remember historically where this is. So
Mm-hmm.
that alone to me is very important.
Was there a sense of vindication as a black man, you as a black man, and you told in one of our first episodes of doing Two Dads, Six Daughters, you talked about being profiled with
Yeah.
so when he talked about him himself being profiled as a black man, was there a sense of vindication from hearing him saying that? Like, for those who don't believe this happens, here you go. The president, the leader of the free world, is saying it happens. It happened to me. How did you feel about that?
Well, I bet, you know what? I do think it's historic again because it's the president. But I think, again, sadly, the people who feel how they feel continue to feel how they feel.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't pay attention. They didn't listen. I mean, it's almost like, so it ends up being like you're preaching to the choir. But the fact that you're preaching, I got to give you props for
Yeah.
that. And again, though, as far as the black folks go and the community goes, all these murders, man, everybody's kind of hanging their hat on Trayvon, and I think it's unfair to do that. Not unfair. I don't say that's the wrong word, but I think how can I feel so passionate about Trayvon, but not feel so compassionate about what's going on
down the street,
down the street,
right,
in every big city, in every city,
mm-hmm.
and has been going on for years. So
I know somebody posted on Facebook and says, how come we're not this mad about black on black crime? How come we're not this mad that we're killing each other?
How come we're not mad that radio stations continue to play this propaganda that our kids fall for, day in and day out? How come where's the fight for that? Where's the passion about anything? Where's the passion about these schools that don't have everything they need to take care of the kids? It's like, there's a whole bunch of things people are not passionate about.
But
You
we're
know,
passionate about a new Jay-Z album.
we're passionate about a new Jay-Z
We're
album. We're
passionate
passionate
about
about
the
the
Real
new
Housewives of
chemistry.
Atlanta. We're
Yep,
passionate about Scandal.
exactly. And the people, it's almost like if you're the person whose child has to go to the worst schools in the city, where's the fire? What's
Mhm.
going on? I mean, why aren't you fighting? This is your life. Some of us, we have a false sense of security because we've escaped to the suburbs.
Right. Well,
And
let me ask you this, man, because this is a dynamic that's going on right now in the St. Louis area. Is that Riverview Garden School District is unaccredited? If they lost their accreditation, and so when you lose that, then they have to pay for school bus transportation to another district. They pick one school, and if your child wants to go there, we'll pay for that. They can go to any school that they want, but this one will pay for transportation. In any other school, that's on your dime, right? So now the dynamic is this: is that so a lot of parents feel like in this case they're sending them to the Melville School District. So what they're saying is, well, why the Melville School District? Well, it's a good school district for one. But the second thing is our kids are not going to be welcome there, right? So what's the dynamic as a parent? Do you send your kids to a better school district that they may not be welcome to, or do you keep them in an unaccredited school district?
you send them to the better school district. Come on, man. I mean,
Because a lot of
that's
people say that they can't put their kids because there's and with some legitimacy they fear the safety of their children. They feel that they're going to get picked on, get called the N word, get heckled, get beat down by a gang of something like that. So
let me tell you something. Black people, are you kidding me? Your child has a greater chance of getting killed by a black man than any white boy. Come on. It's like this is not 1960. It's ridiculous. It's like it's no. And I'm
okay,
sorry it sounds very strong, but no. You
no,
send your kid to the best school district.
okay,
You send your kid to the best school district. Why? Because you have so much apathy that y'all ain't making things happen in your own damn school district. If you can't today be all of a sudden be concerned and worried about your child's going to get talked about at the school district over here when ain't nobody in your school. Is anybody going to PTA? Are people outraged? I remember in East St. Louis, I never forget it. All the great teams that come out of East St. Louis, Tony, you know, you probably remember this. I go over to East St. Louis to see a game, sold out, stadium packed, concession run by people from another country. What? How does that? Who
who made
cut
that
that
deal?
deal? Who cut
Yeah,
that deal?
yeah,
Is anybody at PTA? Have you ever raised any funds for these teams, or does everybody just go to the game, buy concession, and that's the end of the support? So
right.
it's the same thing with that. You got a jacked up school district. As a parent, you didn't demand that they get accredited, and now you got to make a choice. You send your kids to the best, give them opportunity, and then in the meantime, you have to get together and rally. If this is the school district in your area, you have to rally and make it better,
Well, let me
and
tell you
that's the
about.
responsibility of the parent.
Let me tell you some. Let me be devil's advocate based on comments that I heard. Is it? But now my kid's gonna have to. They could get up at 4 in the morning and catch the bus at
Yes.
6.
Yep. They gotta get up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Okay? Your ancestors couldn't go to school. All right? I heard yesterday in Baltimore, I'm in the school district, and again, this teacher, young black male teacher, tattoos on his arm, somebody who used to be blank, now he's a math instructor. Man, he broke it down so hard. It was so funny because it was for the kids, but I was like, yep. I was looking at him like, yep. It was like, you got three decisions, young man. You got three choices. He said, you either going to, he said, if you're not trying to get your lesson, you're a black man, black boy, black man. You're going to either going to end up dead, end up in prison, or end up broke, you know. And he broke down how standardized tests, how they build prisons based on those tests. So while, again, you know, they build prisons based on those tests. These are seventh graders. So I believe the testing starts in like fourth grade or whatever. But Tony, they have a calculation. They have calculations that say these kids who score in this area will be in prison.
Wow.
Okay, so all these tests that happen, these aren't just some random. These are numbers that are building the prison industrial system, and you may or may not be aware of it. So if your child is in an unaccredited school and with no support versus going to a school that helps, first of all, has better curriculum, better teachers, and has better success based on their standard scores, as a parent, you need to put your kids where the standard scores are high, especially if you're a black parent, because if your kids are low, they're still in prisons for them. That's the truth. See, that's the truth. You don't hear politicians talking about that.
They don't tell you that.
They don't tell you that.
Yeah.
That they didn't say, to quote, was that Bernie or who
What?
was that? Onion or Bernie, that line? Who got that line?
That was
from?
Minister Farrakhan. He used to say that. Yeah.
I know. Onion was either I'm a liar.
Yeah.
But where are the politicians talking about that?
Yeah.
You don't hear that. That's the real deal.
Yeah.
So if you have a chance to put your kid in a situation where their standardized test scores are whatever elevated, you got to go for that. This is life or death. Because they're building these prisons. The prison business is so successful, Tony. Other countries are in it. Saudi Arabia, Russia.
They're investing in prisons.
Wow. It's big business.
Man.
That's slavery. That's where your kids are going. So all these schools, St. Louis, East St. Louis, Baltimore, DC, out Chicago, all these major markets, they're building those standardized tests. That's what they use. They build it on that because the numbers show these kids, and with the technology and everything, it's just the gap's going to widen. And so, so if you knew that information, I think it changes the whole color of what they're talking about. They gotta get up at 2:00 in the morning. Here is a olive branch. Here's a lifesaver. This is a lifesaver that you got to take advantage of.
A blessing that has fallen your way.
A blessing that's fallen your way because look at the another information. Look at the standardized test scores for the schools where you live or whatever. You want your kid in the school that has the highest standardized test scores.
And you're saying no matter the sacrifice, you have to make that sacrifice.
Exactly.
I got you.
I mean, it's like, especially when you don't have, it's different when you got it. It's different when, like here in DC, our kids went to a co-op school. And then as they were,
what's a co-op school?
Co-op school is you pay a little less, and you pledge or you sign up to be active.
So to volunteer for activities.
Volunteer for activities. It's kind of a grungy school. You're gonna see a lot of underarm hair and those earth shoes.
Yeah.
Those eco shoes.
Hippieville, man.
You're gonna see those sandals that you'd be like, what the hell is going on? Who wears these? And there's a store at the mall. Who wears these? Right?
Right.
Wow. That's where they go, right there. And man, let me tell you something. I went to a meeting and they were haggling over like $1. Like we need to raise it. People are like, well, I think we should not. It's like, wow. But anyway, so then after they got out of that, some people were going back to these neighborhoods that were, in transition. So the school districts were in transition. And, they basically, I forgot my point. Sorry.
Well, that's the first thing that happens, man.
Make the transition, so in other words, yes, you have to make the sacrifice to make it better.
Okay.
And the people who did this, they were going to these schools and they were getting involved. They understood that if they got involved, they could enter as a kindergartner. By the time they're in third grade, the school's going to have success if everybody chips in and starts doing that. That's all I'm trying to say.
I got you.
You can change it.
Well, all right, we'll wrap it up, man. With some great topics, man. Some great points you made. I think this might be our best one yet, man. So,
and you got to get some rest, man. You got like 85 things to do today. You got a tan.
I was out there, man, dude. I've been outside since 11 o'clock, man. Been outside since 11 o'clock. And
The
here it is
baseball
almost.
watching is suffering.
Oh, man. I'm telling you, man. I'm hurting over
One,
here.
one question as we leave, and this has nothing to do with daughters, but Tony, I know you're a huge baseball fan,
Yeah.
and I know it hurt your heart when Pujols left St. Louis.
No, it didn't.
Didn't
It didn't because you know what? Took the best deal. He took the best deal he could get, and that was an incredible deal. And
and was
I think he spent his better years in St. Louis.
I was gonna say. So, based on how he plays now, do you have any doubt that he was a user of performance enhancing drugs, or do you think it's just timing and he's on the downside, or is the fact that he was such a great player and now he's so mediocre prove that something was up?
I wouldn't say he's mediocre, but I think the first thing that pops in my mind when you ask me that is when Michael Jackson sold how many Thriller albums? 40 million. And then when Bad came out, the follow-up album, it sold like 12 million. It was deemed a failure.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on. Is he
But
using?
I mean, as a hitter, Tony, he was a machine, baby.
He's a machine. There's a lot of factors, but there's a lot of things also to consider. Is that he's in a new league, different pitchers, right? He. I'm not making excuses for him. Clearly, he's had his better years. Is he the dominant force that he was? No. But it seems like even last year, to a point, it just took him a while to get going. I mean, because he finished up pretty strong. This year, he didn't start as badly as he started last year, but it wasn't the Pujol start we're used to. But is he going to hit 40 home runs and drive in 130 runs and hit 330 this year? No, he's not. He's not.
He's
It's
going
not
to
going
hit
to happen.
three.
Huh?
He's going to get 300 this year.
No, I'm saying, is he going to hit 40 home runs for the
No,
season?
is he going to hit 300 this year? You think?
300 average?
Yeah.
Nah. I don't think so. But then, of course, this year he's got that plantar fasciitis thing on his foot, which is very painful. It's painful. I mean, you have to run on. Now, when he hits a ball, he does that dirt part running to first base. He runs on the grass because it's easier. It still hurts, but it's not as bad as running on dirt, right? I mean,
Maybe
when
he
you
could
got
take like some of his money and like put it down to soften up the path to the base. Press some 20s down.
Man, hey man, they're talking about suspending A-Rod for maybe life.
Yeah, he's done.
Is he done?
He's done. He's getting ready to yank. He talk too much. Just too much, man.
Yeah.
Too much, man. The kids say he's doing too much. No, really.
That's too bad, man. That's a disappointment because he had the potential for 800 home runs and all this stuff, and it's not gonna happen.
But you figure. I was just thinking, wow. So he was Ken Griffey Jr. was his. They played at the same time, basically, right?
They both started out in Seattle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like, wow, interesting.
And Ken Griffey Jr. did not juice.
And it did not end well for Ken either.
Well, I mean, you know what? But then there's the proof that he wasn't juicing because the career it was over. He no mas. I can't do no more. So, well, all right then. So we'll wrap up here, man. If you want to leave a comment down below, you can do that. We'll have some other episodes that you can check out if you haven't checked out the other ones.
And if you want us to talk about something, please touch base with us.
Yeah.
Either my email is markclark@mac.com,
mm-hmm.
and Tony's, yours is.
Mine is I have several. Tony's got media@gmail.com. You can send something there if you got a comment. And just if you got something you want to tell us want us to talk about, we can do that too. So yeah, good idea, man. So appreciate you, man, and see you next week.
Next week it is, my brother. Get some sleep.
That is Mark Clark. That's 2 dads, 6 daughters.